Hi, Phil Ciccio here, founder of Success Thinking, creator of Think Yourself to Success, where we help people just like you get the results that you're looking for, both personally and professionally. Today I wanted to talk about productivity and happiness. See, I believe that productivity and happiness go hand in hand. I've worked with thousands of people in the area of productivity, and I can tell you this for sure. The common thread amongst all of these people, whether they're trying to be more productive personally or whether they're in an organization and trying to get an organization to be more productive, whether it's their team or themselves, one thing I found really common with the people that are the most productive versus the people that are the least productive is those that are extremely productive are happier at what they're doing, whether that's in work or in their life in general. Those that are least productive are either less happy professionally or even personally. So there's a direct correlation between happiness and productivity. You've probably heard the term whistle while you work. That term is real. If people are whistling while they're working, if they're happy when they're doing the things that they're doing, then they're in the flow and they're more productive. When they're in the flow or they're in the zone and they're focused, they get so much more production than the normal person who isn't in the flow. And you're not going to be in flow or in the zone if you're not happy. See, most people are trying to get the thing to be happy. Be more productive and I'll be happy. It's absolutely the opposite. Be more happy and you'll be more productive. Be more optimistic and positive and you'll be more productive. There was a study done, it was in the 80s with MetLife Insurance Company. What they did was there was a doctor, a psychiatrist, his name was Dr. Seligman, and what he did was as people were coming into the organization, he gave them an assessment. It was to measure their level of optimism. He took about 15,000 representatives coming into the organization and he gave them all a test to find out what their level of optimism was. After that, he spent 3 years looking at what their productivity was, what their sales were. And what he found was amazing. He said the people that were the most optimistic on the survey outperformed the people that were pessimistic or less optimistic, beat them by 56% in sales, anywhere between 20 and 56%. Now here's where it gets staggering. The top 10% optimistic people, so the most optimistic in this assessment versus the lowest 10% being the most pessimistic, the difference there was staggering. Those people that were at the 10% most optimistic, they outperformed in sales the least productive by 86%. I mean, there's a direct correlation here between people that are happy, optimistic, feeling good about what they're doing, and those that aren't. So it's important that you find a way to become happy to be more productive. Be happy. It's a state of mind. Now, I've had other videos where I've shared how to be happier, also how to make your employees or your team happier, or the people around you happier. There's chemical releases in our brain that cause us to feel happy, like dopamine and oxytocin and serotonin and endorphin. And so in another video series, I talked about the 4 elements that essentially make people happy. But I've found a 5th that is actually the most critical reason and the most critical thing that you can do to make sure that you maintain a high level of happiness. So let me cover the 4 very quickly, and then I'll give you the slam dunk, the 5th one that I feel is the most important. So the first thing is that you need to be doing things that are new, right? When you or your team are doing the same thing over and over again, in other words, you're doing a routine, everything is rote, everything is the same, there's not a lot of levels of happiness there. We need to be doing something new. So that would be the first thing. Try to find ways to do something new. It doesn't matter if it's the littlest things like maybe driving a new way to work or going to a new place for lunch or trying a new process or a system. Try to challenge some of the ongoing paradigms that are happening in the workplace or in your personal life and change them. So that would be one, the new thing. Secondly, you want to do something that challenges you, right? Get out of your comfort zone. Do something that kind of scares you a little bit but excites you as well. That also encourages happiness, or at least the chemical releases that make you feel great. So do something that's challenging. Many times we're going to work or we're in our daily life and we're not getting out of our comfort zone. So I would recommend that you get out of your comfort zone. So newness and challenge are the first 2. The third thing is connecting with other people, both physically and emotionally. You've got to be around people that you care about and that care about you, whether that's in your relationships outside of work, your loving relationships, or your really great relationships at work. Get together with your team or get together with your family and your friends and do things together that connect you both physically and emotionally. So that would be the third thing, is connectedness. The fourth thing is to be able to creatively express who you are. Most people are suppressing or holding back who they truly are. You need to be able to express who you are. And if you're working on a team environment, or maybe you're a leader of a team, find ways that you can allow your team to be more expressive. Many times I've talked about Casual Friday, where people can express who they are based on the way that they dress. It makes them happier. If you can do things at work that allow people to express themselves in a bigger way, they're going to be happier employees. And if they're happier employees, they're going to be more productive. And if you're happier as an individual personally, you'll be more productive as well. So those are the 4 primary ways that I've shared in past videos that can help you maintain a higher level of happiness. But the 5th one, and this one's the most important, and I've been sharing this with people literally all over the country and all around the world. One of the key things here is to make sure that you're doing something that is meaningful. This is important. I'm talking meaningful. Now, if in your work you can't find meaning, I can promise you that there is meaning in what you're doing. Your organization wouldn't be around if there wasn't some sense of meaning to somebody. You need to find that, and this is what I do when I'm working in organizations. I help the people within the organization really find some value, pride, and meaning in what they're doing. If we have a strong sense of meaning and purpose for what we're doing, we're happier and we'll be more productive. In your personal life, the same thing. You got to find things that give you meaning and purpose, whether that is helping out in some way in your community, or helping a friend, or doing something that is really an intrinsic motivator for you that makes you feel good because you're doing something that's bigger than you. Getting involved in some meaningful work or activities that are bigger than you. That would be the most important thing that I can share with you that will help drive your levels of happiness. We need to increase the base setting, or the base point of your happiness. And the only way we're going to do that is by continually doing those 5 things. You see, we were born with a set level of happiness based on some genetic conditioning in our environment, and when we're really young, depending on our environment, we have a base setting of our happiness, and we have spikes that go up and then spikes that go down. Sometimes we do something that's amazing and this spikes up and we're really excited and happy, but that kind of wears off pretty quickly and we go back to our base setting for happiness. Sometimes things go wrong in our life and we kind of go down, and suddenly we get over that and we're back up to our base setting. So we have spikes, but that's not really what's going to maintain long-term happiness and productivity. What's going to cause you more long-term happiness is to raise the base setting of your happiness. Whatever that set point is for your happiness, we need to raise that up. So those 5 things are going to be critical, but if I can really stress to you one thing that's incredibly important, is to make sure you find some sort of meaning in your personal life and your professional life. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching.